Is anyone brave enough to sign up for a talk? We're going to do 2 events in January next year, after Christmas. Yes, we have one person.
What? One person, all right.
Would you like to come up here and share with us what you're going to talk about?
Thank you so much. All right, what are you going to talk about?
So it's kind of just an instant thought. My friend kind of like, okay, why don't you do a talk about this? Because first of all, I'm a soft skill trainer at a data science company. So I'm 21 years old, by the way. And it could be like a very young age to be a soft skill trainer. And also like not many people in Cambodia teach about soft skill like communication, presentation skill, all of these things. So that could add to your next nerd night. So I'm going to talk about teaching soft skill in Cambodia. Thank you.
Thank you so much. She wants soft drinks for her soft skills. Hey.
Anyone else brave enough to sign up to speak for a free drink ticket? Going once. Going twice.
Do I spot someone over there? No, I'm making that up. I'm seeing things.
That's alright, we'll just hassle you separately after this event. Alright, so that brings us to, well, firstly, let's do another thing to give our respect to the speakers. So same as before, when I say 1, 2, 3, I want you to say shh, alright? 1, 2, 3. Very well done, you guys are great nerds for this. And that brings us to our next talk, which is a little bit different, isn't it? Because I see someone behind you, looks like he's getting warmed up to lose.
Oh, my guy's ready. He's been ready. He's been born ready. You are scared, I can see it. He's shaking in his boots.
Well, on my side, I have a very, very respectable guy who is, look at that form. He is 21 and 2, and he is ready to knock this right out of the park. Everyone, welcome to the stage, Hamish! You got this.
All right, in my corner, coming at a height of 185 and 99 kg, we got my boy, my ride or die. We got Harry Gary!
Let's go. Thank you for everyone I said tonight. You might have made an amazing stats. Thank you to my promotional manager, David. What he doesn't mention is I mentioned 3-0 against Gary's. It takes me back to my debut battle victory against Gary Hallowell, which is why I keep a ginger spice next to my heart at all times. You're going now.
My boy!
I know what to do with that ginger. I know where you usually keep it, you perverts.
So what's going to happen is we're going to have 20 slides, and Hamish is going to start the slides, so he's going to do the odd-numbered slides, and he's going to present about the first slide that he's never seen before, and then Gary is going to present about the second slide, and then it's going to go back to Hamish, who's going to do third, and we're going to alternate until we get to 20, because it's 20 slides, 20 seconds each, and then we will have a Q&A, because these are obviously experts in their field, and after the Q&A we are going to have a vote for who is the ultimate winner of the Nerd Off, which is probably going to be my guy, because he wears a hat, and hats are cool.
So let's give a round of applause for my crew, the G-Force. Can we get a round of applause? Thank you. Get it going, get it going. We got wit, we're dressed in black. Vote for us.
And we are Party Shirts, Smarty Pants. And we are going to nail this. Your first slide, yeah. Alright, are we ready? Haley with the slide.
Feel free to heckle. It's a volunteer position, so you'll never have to prove you can do it yourself.
Hold on my whistle.
Bees! Holy shit, there's a lot of them. Alright, bees are amazing, right? Because they all mate with a single queen. So they're basically clones. So when a bee comes out and stings you, it produces pheromones that make the other bees come out and sting you as well. They don't care about dying. They just care about coming out and...
But this particular one is a very special bee because all the other bees have little numbers on them, but this one is like, it's the queen bee and everybody mates with her. It's like a massive gangbang every day in the hive. It is, they're dancing.
Oh my God, the bees dance. You don't see bees dancing because when you dance, it's shit, right? Dancing like a person on the stage. But really, when the bees dance, they're all communicating. They're dancing in synchrony, in harmony, and they're gonna come and sting you. Please change the slide.
And this brings me to Carol von Frisch. I mean, we all know, and we've all heard about Carol von Frisch, right? I mean, what is there not to tell more about Carol von Frisch that you already know? I mean, the man is a legend in his own right. The minute he dies, he will get a state funeral. There will be a week of mourning in Cambodia.
Your knowledge of Carol von Frisch sounds like Donald Trump talking about fucking nuclear weapons, right? So anyway, he's wearing glasses because he loves bees. He looks exactly the same as bees. They've been studying each other for a long time. And some say the bees are a bit ahead on the research.
What Carol von Frisch actually proved is by when you wear glasses, you actually can observe bees better. Because he has proven that if you wear lenses in front of your eyes, that actually improves your eyesight. And bees are quite small. So that's the beauty of, the genius of Carol von Frisch.
Sorry to the vegans here, but the middle picture is fucking delicious. Right? So bees are really essential in pollination. If bees die, and they're dying in many countries, we don't get the plants to pollinate, and then we all die. Very important. That looks
like a lot of bees making a lot of honey. And honey, as we all know, is delicious. And this is why we refer sometimes to our partner as hello honey. This is why you basically are saying like, you are as sweet as honey. And this is also something that we have to take into account.
Oh my goodness, this is my worst nightmare. This actually happens, so if you get, this is something you can do, you get a queen bee placed upon your body, and the whole hive comes and swarms. They don't sting you unless you freak out, but I have to say, I would absolutely freak out. I would scratch myself, and then I would be stung 1,000 million times.
Yeah, and that just shows the coward that my opponent is. This is basically, I mean, I won the, I just can like sit here and don't say anything anymore. Like, I mean, imagine being covered in a zillion bees. How awesome is that? You go to a party, everybody will notice you, trust me.
Oh my goodness, and we've gotten to bark. Have we changed the theme? Anyway, bees love hiding in bark. Everyone loves to think of bees in nice little rows with a person in a white cloak spraying gas on them. But actually in the wild, bees will create their nests inside hollows of...
Now, obviously, my opponent here is talking absolute rubbish. I mean, we all know dogs bark, bees don't. That is absolute... I mean, what are you on about? Come on. See, I don't remember that. Now, we all know that bees live in kind of like circular constructions.
All right, and here we have a couple of mathematical diagrams showing that bees are a lot warmer than the Cambodian climate. All right, so today we've had a cold spell, 24 degrees when we woke up, and about 31 in the middle of the day. Bees, 50 degrees at all times. That's not Fahrenheit, it's not Kelvin.
Now, as we all know, 1 second and 1 kilometer are basically exactly the same. Like time and distance. I mean, Einstein proved that time and space are basically a continuum, like E is mc squared and all that. So in space-time, everything is exactly the same. And bees know that as well.
All right, the waggle run. The trajectory my opponent is taking trying to get to the finish line. He ain't drunk, he's just the waggle run. I've got no fucking... Sorry, about why the bees do this, but apparently it's to wiggle their booty at their mates, which is the queen.
The waggle run is actually the dance that bees perform if they want to basically either seduce a mate or they want to show you where the food is. It's sort of like you do a little waggle run And then you basically see it's already working. See. Oh gosh, feel the raw sexual tension on the stage.
Here's a man potting bee honey. This is going on toast. Pumpernickel, usually, but I quite like it on seedy grain toast. Cook it till it's almost dark, not burnt, and then a little bit of butter and a good slather of honey. My time's up.
Okay, and I'm not surprised that you like seedy toast, given the fact that you're a bit of a seedy person yourself. So yeah, that makes absolute sense. What this man is doing is like breaking down a wall, because we need to break down barriers, boys and girls. That is absolutely our mission, and this is why. What can we learn from bees?
What can we learn from bees? What we can learn is about teamwork. We don't all have to be completely the same. But what bees tell us is when there's a single goal, we go out with our friends, our teammates, we produce our pheromones, and we win.
But most important, like, what can we learn from bees? Fuck all. They're tiny, they have tiny brains. How many bees have won a Nobel Prize? 0. That's how many. Jesus, come on. They're stupid bees, they're only good for honey, and that is how we should keep it. If we make them smarter, we will overtake the world. We will overtake the planet, just like those slime moles.
Alright, we got this. I'm pretty confident, man. You smashed it. The other one used a pun with the bot. I mean, he uses puns in 2021, right? Who uses puns?
Dave, I think you gotta get ready to shake hands with the winner over here. Come on.
Well, I mean, let's ask the audience if they have any questions for the very, very well-prepared presentations about bees. Yes, one question about bees.
What do you think about the investigations as to whether or not bees use electromagnetism to navigate? Do you think does that theory hold weight or not?
You can take this one.
So I think both contestants have to answer the question. So what do you think about the allegation that bees use electromagnetism to navigate? Do you think there's any weight in that as the bee experts?
Funny you should ask, because that is actually what Erich von Trier, a lot of his research was all about that, but you already know this, right? So, yeah, but actually what he discovered, that electromagnetism and the way they do the rattle run, is actually showing them the way to food or a mate.
If I could reference my favorite Breitbart article from the last 2 months, bees absolutely do manipulate society with electromagnetism. They don't know how they do it, we don't know how they do it, but you ask enough rhetorical questions and it'll happen.
Alright, any other questions? Yes.
With the dancing slide, with that scary slide, the dancing slide,
That was the original dancing.
was that a reference to the BGs, the band, or was that just something
Was the reference with the waggle slide, the dancing slide, a reference to the Bee Gees?
Well, I mean, we all know the classic hits by the Bee Gees. Staying alive. Or, how deep is your... I'm trying to think of puns. Deep makes it look easy. Staying Alive is a massive hit by the Bee Gees.
I guess the irony is that we all know bees do sick this when they go into battle. When you sting, you're dead. You ain't staying alive. But you gotta motivate your troops. Gotta get in there.
Oh, that's got a sting! Who's got the next question? Yes.
Which comes first, bees or humans?
So, in your love life, which come first, bees or humans?
Who did you swipe right to?
I mean, I got stung by a bee when I was a kid, so definitely I first got penetrated by a bee. That nonsense. I'm not getting into details, but it wasn't consensual. It's traumatic. Like, I'm very happy to share here, but I don't know.
I think my wife always tells me I bring the honey, so that answers your question.
No honey, no money. Right, one final question.
Is the B movie scientifically accurate?
Every B movie is scientifically accurate. Like every cheap horror movie ever made is 100 correct. Referring back to that slime mold presentation, why aren't there any great B horror movies about slime mold? I can't wait to watch them because they would be historically accurate.
I watched the B movie like I watched Toy Story. It happened, still happens, and Woody is alive.
Awesome. So I think we'll now take it to a vote, and you get to choose who is to be and who is not to be. So let's do a vote by cheering. So let's have a cheer. If you want my awesome contestant to win, Hamish, let's have a cheer. Damn, it's going to be hard to beat. No whistles allowed for the next one.
Oh, here we are. All right, who's up for Harry Garrett?
That was quite close. All right, let's do it in the quickest succession so we can see it. So, Hamish.
Gary.
Hamish.
Gary.
What do you think?
Oh, we won.
I think sadly we are not.
You better be sorry about that.
And you have such a good record against Jerry's. Well, it was a great attempt, and I still back my guy. Well done, and well done to the winners. G4s. Well done. That was really great. Good competition. And thank you very much to Roswell who put these slides together. I think he's nerdy about these. Alright. So, we have one final speaker for tonight. Please welcome to the stage, Shweta Pandey.
Wow, tough acts to follow. So, my name is Shweta, I'm from India, and I'm a feminist, I would like to say. I'm talking about the feminism movement and how it is important in today's times. This is the dictionary reading of it, but I would like to say it's just about advocacy of women's rights based on equality of gender, and how we see it and how we practice it. And let's move on to the next slides and I'll take you through the different points. Here's a brief history of how the feminist movement associates with other movements like right to vote, the LGBTQ rights, the transgender rights, and the most recent one could be the Me Too movement that we are all aware of. And so let's move on to a little bit about the country I come from. Well, as a feminist, I see that we don't even have the basic rights to be alive, because even before you're born, you're killed, and because it's a girl child and you wouldn't want the burden of a girl child. And justice against sexual harassment and abuse, which is not very common in India. It is very difficult to approach the legal system and get any answers out of that. Safety in social and public surroundings, yes, it's difficult to be out and be yourself and feel safe, because we all know about. I will share a quick story about how I was told by my mother, sorry to say, but that I was never good enough when it comes to comparing with my brothers. because all I would do is get married, have a household, raise kids, and I'm not expected to have careers. And yeah, career, coming to that, only, you know, we really earn less. Even at the top 10 paying jobs, women earn lesser than men, which is something that we are all fighting for, we all stand for, is equality at workplace. Equal rights, very few countries give that. Mostly Scandinavian countries like Denmark and that region would actually have women at equal pay, at equal opportunities in the society. And well, that's a figure that's very scary for me, because yeah, I was expected to get married by the time I was 19, and I had enough suitors selected by my parents, not given a choice to choose who I spend my life with. So, and let's come to cinema. I absolutely find it horrifying the way women are represented in most of the cinema. It's all about as a sexual figure, as just for entertainment. Unrealistic beauty standards. Fat is bad, skinny is okay, light skin, big hair, you know, everything. You need to put up with the society because they decide how you need to be, which is all the movement is about. Age-appropriate roles. How many of us have seen older actresses not finding enough meaty roles to play, but a George Clooney would still get what he wants? And we all know about Malala. She stood for the women's rights and was shot by Taliban in the face for asking to be educated. And some misconceptions about feminism. We think that we are fighting to be better than men, but we are not. We are just trying to be equal and have a voice and the right to choose and to be. That's all. And you know, if we could move to the next slide, yeah. One of the biggest misconceptions is we believe we are better than men. We are not trying to be better, guys. We just trying to be there and be an individual and be noticed and acknowledged. And feminists don't care about how we look. Well, I'm standing here. I'm a feminist. I think I look good. Don't I? Only men can be feminists. I just met Chris. Chris, could you stand up for a quick second? There, he supports feminism. So yeah, don't need to prove anything. Well, how do we support this movement at work? We need to speak up for each other. Everybody here, whether it's man or woman, we really need to stand up against what happens at work. And it could be any workplace, it could be a corporate life, it could be wherever you are. I do not believe in playing the victim card. You just have to be assertive and stand your ground, come what may. Because the moment we play the victim card, we defeat the purpose of the movement. Because it's seen as a weapon to be ahead of men. So let's not cry over it, let's be confident and say what we want and ask for what we deserve. And charity begins at home. I totally believe that it's a mother's responsibility more than a father to teach your sons to respect women and respect their rights and their voice. Moving back to India, rape culture is very popular. And it's the victim who gets blamed for it, what she wears, what she does in public life, were you dressed inappropriately to cause it, and cultural impact, yes. I can associate this with India and Cambodia, where women are not very liberal when it comes to the society. The patriarchy believes that you need to be a certain way, to follow certain things. And I would come to a small story. So in India, my mother told me when I was growing up that if I get my menstrual cycles eventually, I should not be touching pickle because it's going to go bad. because I have some kind of a disease or such, you know. And it made me question myself, question my existence as a woman. And temples don't allow women to enter when you are on your periods. And I was actually strip searched at one of the biggest temples in India, which still practices that you know, a woman needs to declare whether you're pure enough to enter the temple. So yeah, that brings me to the end of it, and I hope we all stand up for each other, and you know, this movement goes and does what it's supposed to do. Thank you so much.
One more round of applause for Sweta. Yeah! That was awesome and very empowered, and you do look great. Any questions? Any questions in there from fans? I have one question to start it off. How do you think in India what kind of steps are they taking to kind of change these misconceptions? Small, big steps, kind of anything?
Well, the most recent thing that happened in India was the government banning, you know, sex identification when the mother is pregnant, to make sure that the population of women in the country increases. And also, another step that the government has taken to empower women is to not be compulsory to change your last name after marriage, because you know, it's very challenging to give up your identity and assume somebody else's identity. It should be mutual, it should not be enforced by the society. So, yeah. And these steps have changed things in India, but I would like to see it change more.
Thank you. Any other questions? What made you decide to stop listening to your mother and stand up for yourself?
Good question. A little personal, but I'm not scared to say that. But there were situations throughout my childhood that kind of forced me to understand that if I don't say something, nobody else is going to come to my rescue. Because the society makes you believe that as a woman, you only have limited choices. So when I was asked by my mother to get married at an early age, or not choose a career, or not dress in a certain way, and question my identity, I ran away from home. And I had to stop listening to her, because it kind of was pushing me to be less confident in myself as a woman, to feel that you know, I do not deserve certain things and I don't have a voice, but I do have a voice and I would like to be heard.
Thank you for your story. I think we have a question in the back. Yes. The question was, did Me Too reach India, and what was the impact if it did reach?
Thank you so much for asking that question. It did reach India in a big way, and it mostly hit the entertainment industry, where you know, there was a lot of predators that were sitting at very high positions and exploiting women in the name of, you know, giving you a role or giving you a job, or at the corporate movement where the sexual harassment law had to be put in by the High Court, that every company needs to have that, and there has to be a proper hearing to both sides to decide without just blaming the woman that she caused it. But yeah, it did reach in a big way, and I was one of them. I had my own Me Too movement at my home, at my surroundings, and yeah, I was in full support of whatever was happening in India, and yeah, that's what I can say as of now.
Thank you so much for sharing your bravery. We have another. Yes, over here. So what I'm getting is, what are your thoughts on the biology and how women are made to be less than men physically? Yes. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, physically, I can agree a bit that we might be physically weaker than the male sex, but it's just the biology of it. But I totally believe that no man can go through the pain, the physical endurance, the capability of a physical endurance that we women have. And we all prove a point by being mothers. Amazing mothers, and it's a new life that people get, and physically we might be weaker, but emotionally and mentally we are very, very strong, and all to women power. I hope I answered your question a bit.
Perfect, thank you. Anyone else? Oh. What is one thing men can do to be authentic feminists? Great question.
It's a very individual choice to support a movement or not. But according to me, all a man needs to do is just say no to misogyny. That's the biggest challenge that we have. Like, you know, you don't have to be in control when you're in a relationship all the time. You have to be equal. You have to be not one above the other. And that's the basic step, I think, towards, you know, supporting this movement with full force. And we could use a lot of support from all you guys here. So, yeah, that's what I believe.
We need you too. Thank you. That's all our questions. So one more round of applause for our amazing guest speaker.
Hey, Gretchen, so I did some research after that competition, and it turns out glasses do not make you understand bees better. So I think you guys lied.
Cheated. You think we cheated?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah? Well, research shows that you're a sore loser.
Someone said it's true. I'm coming out to get you. Yeah, yeah. I got your back, Hamish. I got your back. Yeah, yeah. All right. Well.
But to be fair, both candidates were really awesome. And everyone tonight, can we do a round of applause to all our speakers and our random nerds in the back as well.
Yes.
Pulled it off.
So we had Piper, who talked about diseases we didn't have in 2021. We ended with Shweta, who talked about feminism explained.
And then we had Dylan Rogers with Energy of Life. And Andrew Hefner with the unexpected smarts of slime molds.
And we had Hamish, who gave the best presentation about bees.
And we had Harry Gary, who won the presentation on bees.
And a huge thanks to our venue tonight, Scorebar. You've been amazing. We have 2 events coming up in January 2022. Always looking for new speakers. We've already got some lined up, and we had 1 sign up tonight that we're really excited for.
Class in the house, please.
We've been your hosts. I was David, and give it up for Gretchen, because this is her first time hosting, and she was awesome. And the rest of the men, like team, we couldn't have done this without Haley, who's controlling the slides really, really well. as well who made the tabletop flyers, did a lot of marketing and the Keys presentation.
And do a round of applause for Dave's puns. They were pretty good today.
Thank you. Thank you, I think. Yes, I will go with that. And Chantal who's over there, who's been helping us with the microphones tonight and the venues. Daniel, who's also been helping with the venues. Oh, and we have had 112 audience members tonight. How awesome is that?
So thank you to you guys. Big round of applause.
Yes. Oh, and Katie and Fred, who are in the crowd, and Lizzie as well. Thank you very much. If you want to sign up or speak to us, then we are here. Take has been taking photos as well. And yeah, thank you very much. And
have a great night.
Oh, and lastly, can all the speakers please come up to the front for a group photo? So all the speakers to the front for a group photo. Everyone else, you're free to go.